So it's been a little bit, obviously. I'm trying to save the clips for really good stuff. In this particular case, I found the Golden City, and everyone's like, "Woo!" And then we don't go in because they're like, "Yeah, you just can't go in right now." I was like, "What do you mean you can't go in right now? What's the whole?" You just like open like a foyer to someone's house, like castle, and you're like, "Yeah, sorry, you gotta stay in the foyer. We gotta go back home though." And it's like, "All right." And then he's like, "Yeah, apparently she wants you to become part of her cabinet." Let me state this: they could not pay me infinite gil, and I would still not be a part of this woman's cabinet. I think I speak for most people when I say, no, absolutely not, 0%, no way. Uh, I think I'd rather catch an STD or something like Ninja Brian. I'm not in. So I just think it's funny. It's like he's pouting about it. It's like, no, dog, you can have it. You can have any position you want. But wait, it gets better. Spoilers for the peak of Final Fantasy XIV storytelling. It turns out that the main guy, his second head, has been dead for 3 years. Just like he's been weekend at Bernie'sing it the whole time. And they're like, "Oh no, man, I can't believe your head's been dead. It sleeps all the time." It literally is Weekend at Bernie's, but for a guy with two heads. I can't. It's pinnacle, it's peak. I can't believe it. So now Wuklamat is gone, and we're in the desert. I don't know, it's like we're in Red Dead Redemption, I guess. But I just want to remark that it's pretty comical. Like, we thwarted the local band. I was like, oh, the cops are crooked. But I just wanted to show up that this man, I don't know what they were thinking with his, I don't know what this is. It's like Black Adjacent, I guess. I have no idea. But I found it comical, and this guy has a hilarious voice actor, but that's beside the point. But no, it's just like, we're just wasting time. We're just dicking around in the desert. Dicking around the desert forever with some awkward people. Just wait, like, I just want to go on to the next thing. Can I just go on to the next thing? No, we can't just go on to the next thing. We gotta solve crime. And then I was like, hey, can I just, like, go in and just, like, destroy all of them? And they were like, no, you wouldn't want to do that. You might get in trouble. I'm like, I'm in friends with, like, the king of this entire land, and they just proved my character. What are they gonna be like, oh no, he clearly was a criminal the whole time. Like, what do you mean? They're like, no, man, we gotta pad this out. We gotta spend some more of your time. So if we could just do that, that'd be great. Okay. Oh boy, we're really mixing it up now. First it was like, we're making tacos, and we're building floats, and now we're moving lumber. We gotta deliver the lumber so that we can rebuild a train. We've become indentured servants. This isn't the train, it's our train. Okay, so what happened? Well, the game took a twist. The brother became evil, decided to kill their dad, made a deal with a different dimension, summoned robots. Stop me when it sounds ridiculous. Summoned robots. The robots started attacking the city. We're really upset about it. We've decided we need to go and attack this dome that showed up. And then we decided, what are we gonna do? Well, we need to get a train. So we turned the train into a bomb. And then we drove it in. I did this in Star Fox 64 in like 1998, dude. Like, I already did this. I already did this in my life. I sent a train into a base and blew it up or whatever. Although it didn't, it just blew up the front door. But yeah, and it wasn't enough for me to be. I was away from Wilklamat for like a couple hours at most, where I was out in the desert, and now, kicking and screaming, they've dragged her back into the story. I didn't ask for this. I didn't sign up for this, but I'm with Wilklamat. Okay, so whoever was in like the naming department of this, I feel like I've done this to death, but like, they just keep surprising me with how bad the naming is. So clearly it's supposed to be like an analog from Garnet, from or Dagger from Final Fantasy IX. So you have a queen. You're like, we gotta name her after a gemstone. What do we got? It's like that meme about the dude who gets tossed out the window because he has a bad suggestion, or a good suggestion. I don't know. Anyway, they're like, well, we need a gemstone. What do we do? Well, it's like, well, we had Garnet. What do we do? Ruby, Sapphire, Opal. No, Sphene. I didn't even know Sphene was a rock until I looked it up. It is straight up a rock. A rock no one has ever heard of. One that rhymes with the word queen. So it's so they're like, Queen Sphene? Why? You're telling me someone said that out loud in the development phase of this and said, wow, that's an amazing idea. It's like, it is literally the, did you play your own game? I don't, I mean, we're in like a lightning world and everything is like kind of interesting, right? And all that stuff. But I'm like, I mean, loosely anyway. And you're just like, who's our guide? It's Sphene. Okay, so I know from like spoilers I've seen that this broad becomes a villain. But like, the thing is, the writing is so bad. There's so many red flags. Like, oh, here's a person that happens to be queen, and she just happens to want to help you, and happens to be in the middle of, like, a thunder lightning, like, a, desert, basically, just, ruin area. And then she takes you to a town, and there are people there, and they all have things attached to their heads, which isn't weird, and you already know from watching the other fight that that's part of how they come back to life, so it's a little weird. And she's just really joyous, and everyone really likes her. And you're like, not a red flag. Like, this is like the writing you would get in like junior high. It's so forced. And then it's like, all of her mannerisms are just, I can't even.
You know my mother?
Oh yeah, you better, yeah, we might know her.
I do. Yes.
Then tell me, please, where is she?
Yeah, where's my mom? Where's she at, bro? Well, I don't want to talk about it, but maybe there's some robots.
Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
Oh, that's not a red flag at all. Can't tell you about your mom, sorry. A little sus. A little bit of a sussy baka.
I have a question, Pepone.
No, we don't need to know that.
The barrier? Well,
Like this dude, he called us, who are these fine people? It's like a caricature. It reminds me of, if you played Fallout 3, I think it's Fallout 3, you end up in the one thing where it's a VR simulation or whatever, and it's all like a black and white 50s thing, and then you end up like a serial killer or something, but everyone's like super joyous and like, hey dad, like everyone's just like, really, that's what this reminds me of. It's clearly not normal, not real, it's very fake, and just cringe. Just, I don't know, the writing just gets me. They just can't stop. They just insist on forcing me to talk to more people. We can't possibly just move the plot along. We can't do it. We can't do it, dude. It's like, so we've just come upon the revelation that time moves differently inside of this dome than it does outside in the normal desert. And I'm like, my first question, and it let me ask it, was, are we not worried that, like, I don't know, time moves differently and maybe we should, like, be careful? Because if 30 years passed in here and only, like, a few days have passed on the outside, that's a pretty radical difference. Should we maybe not be careful about that? And Karahatia just brushes it away like, no, man, I just talked to Lushola over Link Pearl, it should be fine. I'm like, okay. But then they're like, you know what? I love it. Alice goes, man, we can't really know until we know more. I'm like, that is like the third time you've said that in the last like hour. Please stop making me have to go talk to more people to figure out some rudimentary information that you could explain away with exposition in 2 minutes. You're already giving me exposition. You don't need to give me yet more exposition, okay? I don't need, like, Basil exposition to show up and give me more exposition. Please stop. But we're gonna do it. We're doing it anyway. It's like, let's split up, gang, like the Scooby-Doo Detective Agency, and go find out more information. Okay, one more quick thing. Waklamat is sitting there, she talks to me, and she goes, you know, I don't know if I can trust her yet, but I do believe she cares about her people. I'm like, dude, are you, even after you've become Dawn Servant, you're still incompetent and not capable of leading. These people have stuff attached to their heads. They're like they're like Fry in Futurama with a little, like, squid thing on their head. Like, hang on. They have things stuck to their heads, dog. Like, it's just, yep, that's just like, fashionable or whatever. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, we don't trust her or whatever. It's like, but we trust that she cares for her people. Dude, her people could all turn into, like, ravenous zombies in 2 seconds as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why we're pretending this is totally normal. It's not normal, and Waklamat is stupider by the minute. I don't understand. I said earlier that she wasn't cool enough to be Naruto. She's like a dumber Naruto, I'll give you that. Because the thing is, clearly, after having played most of the initial, like, I gotta become the Hokage part, I was like, well, I can see some parallels at the time. And I was like, no, she's more like Ernest. I don't renounce that, but I do say this. She is the Naruto parallels are very strong. I did not realize that at the time. I was like, well, it's kind of. And now after having played that whole section of the campaign or whatever, the MSQ, 100%. Someone was like, "What? Let's just make Naruto," and they just did it. But like worse. Can we make Naruto but like worse? And someone was like, "Absolutely!" And they all high-fived and walked out and made Naruto but like worse. Okay, so we're back to agriculture. We now need to speak with the farmers. 03. This expansion, my God, Lord forgive me. But it's just, I can't with this. If I have to inspect one more piece of agriculture of any kind, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna become like the old darn servant, and I'm gonna be a dead man walking around like a zombie, like Weekend at Bernie's. This is the most... I have never had my time... I'm trying to think. I think the only game that has wasted my time as much as this is probably the game Too Human for Xbox 360. I can't honestly think of a game that has wasted my time more than this, and it's always with farming. I don't know what this expansion is all about, but boy, if they make me farm, that's the only thing that could make it more. I was already farming early on. Why not more farming? We could just... It's Farm Simulator 2025. That's what this game is now. It's Farm Simulator 2025 with like some exposition in the middle. When do I get to sell my corn? Let me sell the corn right now.